Alright, welcome back. This is pretty much the same screen the last tutorial left off on, and what we're going to focus on in this tutorial is adding text. And it's really fairly simple. I don't really think it's going to take much time, but so we're going to go ahead and delete our cube because we don't need it. And if you hit Shift S, you can snap your cursor to the grid. Handy sometimes, getting things level. So we'll start off with going to our text here. You can just press spacebar, go to text, easy enough, and you'll get text here. Now I suppose we'll take a brief moment here and focus on how everything appears when it's going to be rendered, but we won't get to rendering quite yet. So if you click on your camera, you can see where it's pointing, but you can't really tell what it sees. If you hit numpad 0, you're going to get the view of the camera. This is the selection, and the second bounding box here is usually the cutoff. No, I'm sorry, the first one. Anyways, so this is the view. You can see the direction your light is pointing, so I'm just going to get it pointed directly over the text here, and I'm just using G. And you can get a quick rendering view by hitting F12. I hadn't tried rendering well, didn't take very long at all. Alright, so now if we want to change the text, we're going to derive here a little bit, and to get out of the camera view, you can just rotate your camera view, GUI view, whatever you want to call it. And so the text here is centered on the anchor point, and you can actually grab these arrows here to move the text around on all these axes. I tend not to use it too much, so if you hit Control Space, you can disable the manipulator, and doesn't clutter your view. And the two main modes we're going to be working with here are Object Mode and Edit Mode. And you can hit Tab to switch between them. Object, Edit. And for text it's a little bit different, and you can also switch in between the various modes down here. So if I hit Tab, I can now edit the text with backspace, and I can pretty much write Blender rocks, and just an additional word there just for fun. Alright, and you hit Tab. Now, there's not really much you can do with this while it's declared as text, because you can hit Tab and you can still edit it, but if you want to work with it as a mesh and as your average Blender object, because you can still move it, rotate it, and it's going to rotate on its axis point. But we want to work with it as a mesh so we can animate it in various ways. So in order to do that, the quick command, which is the majority of what I work with, is going to be Alt-C, and you want to convert it to a mesh. And before you do that, you got to make sure you do have your object selected, and you'll notice that by the pink outline. So Alt-C, now it's a mesh. Now the difference is, with it being a mesh now, when you hit Tab and go into your edit mode, it has all the vertices. And if I zoom in, I can grab each individual vertice, or if I hit B, I can get a box selector, and I've got all of the R. And now I can rotate the R by its bounding box. And it's still one dimension. Well, technically two. Well, not technically two. It's two-dimensional. And if I hit A, it deselects all, and if I hit it again, selects all, deselect all, select all. Pretty fun. And in order to really use the text function in Blender for what its purpose is, we're going to make this text 3D by extruding it. And it's just another quick shortcut. You hit E, and we're going to extrude the region. And this duplicates all the vertices and makes faces in between. So if I click, they're there forever, and if I hit Tab, I've got some 3D text. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Alright, well, now that we have our text up on the screen, we're ready for some additional things, and I will cover that with the next tutorial.